Hey guys, as you probably have once again noticed, I am still not at school, trying to get over this illness as quickly as I can, and I'll be back with you as soon as possible. Uh, there's a do now that you can get started with right away. Three questions right there. And then down below, you'll see the documents for today. You have the tectonic tour, which we'll talk about a little bit, as well as the geology study guide. I'm going to throw that up into Classroom. So over the weekend, if you wanted to look at any of the ideas that'll be on next week's test, you can also start preparing for that. So those will be the two documents that you're going to be looking for. The tectonic tour, if you aren't quite done with it by the end of class tomorrow, or I guess today for you now, that's something that's going to have to be finished over the weekend, as well as studying for the test itself. So take a moment, answer the three do now questions, pause the video, and I'll see you back in a couple of minutes. All right, now that you're back, looking at the do now, if you were standing on a beach and you were surrounded by volcanic mountains, what type of plate boundary would you most likely be on? It's supposed to say be on. That would probably be a convergent plate boundary because the oceanic will be ducking beneath the land, the continental plate, and it'll create some volcanoes. Number two, if the crust became as hot as the core and the core became as cool as the crust, how would this affect convection? Well, you might think that nothing would happen with the convection currents if you switch the places, but keep in mind where hot things tend to want to move because of their density. If they're hot, they'll become less dense and they'll want to move outwards from the core. So if the crust is hot, then the mantle will just basically stay at the crust and it won't want to curl back down towards the core because it's already where it wants to be. Kind of like those bottles, the colored bottles experiment that we did before. Number three, a large piece of the Earth's crust is called a plate. As far as today's concerned, a couple of things that we need to talk about. One, the tectonic tour, and we'll talk about that in a minute, the geology study guide, and also note that next week we do have a geology test. We will have a day that we are reviewing next week, so I think I will see you again on Monday. That'll be our review day, and then our test will be on Wednesday, so keep that in mind. As far as today is concerned as well, we're still just working on the tectonic plates, or the tectonic tour, rather. And so we're working with this, know it, no vocab. Three something cools. This device is actually a ring that has been created. A lot of people these days are wearing Fitbits, which are like a bracelet that you put on. It measures steps, your heart rate, how well you sleep. Some of the newer versions do. This ring is something called the Abacus, and it does the exact same thing as the Fitbit, except it's quite a bit smaller. Comes in this chrome color. It helps tell you what your heart rate is, how many steps you've taken, what your sleep patterns are like, and it's all connected wirelessly via Bluetooth, so it all syncs up with your computer. It's pretty cool. Second, something cool. This is it's the world's first Braille watch. And the way it works is that the way that Braille system works is that all these different bumps signify either a different letter or a different number. And as you see, all of these cylinders can slide down so they're flush, or they can pop out. Depending on what the time is, it can project different numbers, and the person who's visually impaired can put their hand on the watch and be able to tell the time. Kind of stylish, I think. Third, something cool. We've been learning about plate boundaries and how plates pull apart at divergent plate boundaries. This is a particularly cool picture. It's from Iceland, and what you're looking at is a scuba diver who's swimming in the space between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. This is literally where the plates are pulling apart from one another, and the new crust is being formed right in this area and pushed up towards the surface. These two continents, again, are being pushed apart about 1 centimeter per year, most 2 centimeters. So this gap is widening, and you can go to Iceland and you can swim in the ocean off the coast and experience this for yourself if you like. So go ahead and do it. All right, the Tectonic Tour. You do have all of today to be working on the Tectonic Tour. I've gotten a couple of emails from students with questions about setting up the tour or what needs to go where. Please keep emailing me with your questions. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Also, this class period, you will be allowed, if you have some questions or you want Mr. Wright to take a look at it, you are allowed to go to his class to ask questions. Now, I don't want everybody going at once. I'd take a maximum of 3 students at a time, and you can just rotate when one is done in his room. You can go back to the classroom and tag somebody else to go as well. And basically, we'll just keep cycling through that way so that he doesn't get overloaded. I would like you to start going to ask him questions about 20 minutes or 30 minutes into the class period. That way he can get done explaining the stuff that he needs to be explaining as well. So if you have questions, go and ask him, and he can set you on the right path. And you can also just email Mr. H as well. If you are a superstar and you have already gotten done with the tour and you just want him to check it, you could do that too, to see that you have everything that you need. If you're completely done with the tour, you can start on the ACE paragraph. Now, there is not an assignment that has been posted in Classroom yet. Pardon me. So what I would like you to do for this ACE paragraph is to answer the following question using the evidence and locations that you've provided in your tour. Explain how the theory of plate tectonics is correct. Typical ACE paragraph, again, you've got your answer, you've got to cite evidence, and you've got to explain the evidence. I would have you create a Google Doc, your own Google Doc, where you could start writing that out if you want. And then when we have the actual assessment, when I post that in Classroom, you can just then put stuff in there. So for right now, all you have to do is just make your own Google Doc to work on that ACE paragraph. So that's what we are working on today. If you get done with all of that, I don't think you will get done with all of that, but if you do, you are able to read or to draw or to do any of the other things that we do when we are done with tests. I would suggest taking a look at the study guide as well. I forgot about that. There is the study guide that's posted. Take a look at that as well. You can start answering the know-its. You can watch some of the review videos. You can start defining the vocab as well. And if you do have any other questions, just email Mr. H. So there we go. Have a good day. See ya.